5 minutes?
I'm sorry, what?
5 minutes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Myra Crownover, and I'm delighted to be here. I don't usually wear glasses, but my allergies are in war with my contacts, and I usually have a different voice. But I'm sure you all have friends that have some disease going on too. Anyway, it has been my joy and my honor to serve the District 64 for the last years, and it has been such a wonderful education. I feel like I have a PhD in the state of Texas. And it was such an interesting experience. I started out a Republican. I have a funny picture of I'm in 8th grade standing by John Tower, and I was taller than he was, but I was working on his campaign. So I am a strong conservative, and I know that's why Texas is doing so well. But I have absolutely been in the trenches. I went in and I knew my goal was to get on the Appropriations Committee because that's where the money is. They say there are 3 important things the legislature should do, and things that they need to deal with, and that's the budget and the budget and the budget. And everything else is just poetry. Of course, you know this time we did some beautiful poetry, and I was proud to stand strong on our right to life battle that we have.
Please withhold your applause until she's finished.
Anyway, it was over days and days, and I did feel your prayers. I knew you were praying for us at that time, and that was such an important time. But I want to tell you that there is good news here. I mean, we could all sit and talk about the federal government and what's wrong with the federal government forever. Everybody has a story, and pretty soon we would be raising our hands. But there is good news, and that Texas is on the right track. It is not doing everything perfectly, but it absolutely knows that you can't tax your way to prosperity. I was in a Republican caucus meeting this year, and Governor Perry came in, and he said, and so anyway, to the backstory of that, I did get on appropriations in 2003. So Governor Perry was in talking, and we have all these wonderful new members now, but they lack the history of it. And he said, Governor Perry was sitting there and she said, I want the people that were on appropriations in 2003 to stand up. And we stood up. And he said, everything that has happened good in the state of Texas, these people were there in 2003. 2003, we had, after 9/11, we had an unprecedented recession, and we had an unprecedented $5 billion deficit. And every state in the nation was raising taxes to deal with that. And Texas said, we are not going to do that. And Tom Craddock, the Speaker of the House, who is my dear friend, I give him so much of the credit because he was not going to waver. And people were yelling at us and accusing us of horrible things, saying that we would ruin Texas, that nobody would live here but poor old people that just didn't have a car to get out of the state, that there would be nobody left. And they were saying just terrible, terrible things, that we would kill people, people would die, and it would be our fault. Of course, you know the history of that. Every other state raised taxes. Texas did not. Who bounced back first? Texas, of course. And we learned our lesson then. That was such a painful lesson, we weren't going to forget it. So we know that raising taxes is not the way to do it. Since I've been on appropriations in 2002, 2003, the GR budget for the state of Texas has gone down by either 2.3% or 11%, depending on if you take in the swap that we did on public schools, where we took over some of the public schools cost. So Texas is on the right track. It is leading the way. It is one of 4 states that has a AAA bond rating. We are the envy when I go to conferences in other states. They want to know why Texas, what Texas is doing and how are we doing it, and how can they copy us. So it's not just our game to win, but I think the basis of that is a total respect for the taxpayer and the taxpayer's dollar. How can we spend those dollars efficiently, effectively, and as the citizens would want them spent? So thank you so much for your time.